Welcome back, everyone. Next session, we have a different topic. It is immigration by investment by Mr. Prashant Ajmera. He is an immigration lawyer, a Canadian citizen, and has more than 25 years of experience in the field of corporate, immigration law, and international trade. He has been associated with Federal Attorney's Office. He has been awarded a double professional degree from ICSA while studying at the London School of Business, UK. So to tell us more about immigration by investment, I would just call upon Mr. Prashant Ajmera. Can we just have a round of applause and welcome him? Yes, yes, audible.
Awesome. Hello. Okay, well, sounds good. So probably this is one of the odd subjects you're going to hear about it. Am I right? Right. So why I am here? Probably I would say I just mentioned to the founder, Mr. Siddiq, that you guys are making a history here. How come? Because residency and citizenship by investment, whenever I was talking to any group of financial people, they're all limited to Dalal streets and surrounding that. Beyond that, oh, we are a different species. We don't want to hear about anything else. We are, we are up there. But over the period of time, the things has changed, which one has to look into it, that how the people are changing and where the financial advisory should be changing. It cannot be all the time we're talking about one thing, making money, 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 money. But even if you have any amount of money, you made it. If your child is not well, what would you do? Are you worried about making an investment into stock market, or are you worried about your child's health? Child's health. Are you worried about his career, or are you worried about your career? So child is always in the front of us. But if we look at it over the period of time, in the race of making money over, we probably forget the focus, and our focus has remained only on a one part. We make money and it will solve all the problem. But it may not be the truth. We have to make a planning, because as we grew from my grandfathers to fathers to me, same with all of your case, the things has changed. It's becoming more and more competitive. And as becoming more and more competitive, you have to do planning of your life, of your things, what happens. In my practice, I'm in the practice since last 27 years. Most of the parents, when they come to me for an advice for going abroad and study abroad, they come to me when they have a mark sheet in their hand. It's too late. Because wherever you want to go, or you want to send your children, remember, India is not the only country in the world. There are another 219 countries are there, and the lines in those countries are increasing day by day. So it needs a planning. It needs to look into in the long term, that what do we do? And you guys as a financial advisors are in such a position. You have a relationship with your clients. They understand. You understand them. You know their need. So if you have a tool like this one, probably you are in an ideal place to advise that, sir, this is what we need to look at it. This is what you have to look at it. Not necessarily you have to look at it in the terms of run away from here. We are not talking about that. But having an options and a planning, something can be done. Not necessarily that you approach every client is going to buy your product or financial products or don't take your advice. But that option should be there in front of him. So at least basically we are telling them that making more informed decisions about your life, about your quality of life, your children's, and so many other aspects. And that's what we're going to talk about in general in 2-3 different aspects. Then what first we have to see, Or is it not on? Okay. That's okay. So what we're going to look at it over the period of time is the economic liberalization, rise of the HNIs in India. Okay. And then we have a LRS, which is Liberalized Remittance Scheme. The outbound remittance and trends, Indian migration history, present trends and future trends for immigration by investments, and new opportunities for financial advisor. Believe me, we are the last country in the world to get into this game or this product, because up till now the government of India were not allowing, or RBI was not allowing to remit the money abroad. Right? So we could not talk about it. I could not come here and talk about it if the RBI tomorrow says that you cannot send any money out. So I'm out of business. But the things has changed over the period of time. And that's why it has become very important to look at that aspect when you are advising your HNIs. So you hear about the 1947 to 1993. Why is that period important? What happened in 93, 94? Reforms. We started the reforms. But if you know that reform was more in a part of, or in a way of inbound investment. So before 1993, we had a Mercedes, the ambassador and Fiat car. Things has changed from 93 onwards in every aspect. So 93 to 2007 was only an inbound investment. But as this inbound investment was coming into India, obviously there was a pressure from the different governments, different international bodies on the Indian government to open the doors for the outbound investment. So 2007, the first time in that budget, Indian government mentioned that we're going to allow the companies and then individuals to make an investment outside India. And that's basically changed over the period of time. And you'll see the number from RBI. This is not like a survey being done by talking to a few people. This is the core number coming from an RBI. Thus, there was again, at the same time, we had a currency restrictions because we didn't have the large fund of the dollar. So in 1988, exactly 30 years back, when I left India, and I was taking a tour of Europe for 30 days, I was given $500 currency exchange. Then he said, you figure it out, rest what you want to do it. $500 only. And I was going for a 30-day trip on a Europe on a backpack. Now the things has changed. In 2019, you can take up to 250,000. The HNI has also increased, thanks to all you guys and all your seniors, that with this investment and liberalizations in India, the wealth has increased. The people's spending power has increased. Am I right? So with that one, HNIs are also increasing. Now with that HNIs is increasing over the period of time, the other things are also changing is investment made outside in India. But from 2007 onwards, what I'm interested here in is just to show you the numbers, what's happening after the 2007. See how much money was going out of India? Okay. And this is RBI latest data from their websites. And now you see the number. These are in millions of dollars. We already hit 1 billion here. So right now we are almost at $13 billion. And how they have spent this money? If you connect this one to this, we put it in a deposit. This is, they have taken your money. Deposit they could have made it in India. They made it outside. Property, debt and equity, gift, donation, travel. 4 billion, guys. You spend 4 billions in traveling, Dubai and Abu Dhabi's and whatnot. You talk about it, but it's there. Close relatives, medical, Study. $2 billion is being spent in a study abroad. Now this 2 billion is connected with this close relative, because this one has gone specifically to the institute. But then my son is there and I'm sending him a money as a close relative, which is here. So if you look at it, you spend almost like $5 billion in foreign study, officially. हवाला की हम बात नहीं कर रहे यहाँ पे. Now this is 13 billion and it's increasing. Now, compared to that one, obviously we always compare with China because of the same population. You can't compare with them. Their outbound is 158 billion. And this is in financial instruments, and this is 120 billion into the non-financial. So this chart shows over the periods increasing in every category. We talked about it. Number is increasing. Some has gone down, some has gone up. But if you look at it continuously, the amount or number is increasing. So between 2007, based on this number, what do we conclude? Before 2007 and after 2007, right? That's the line, we have it in front of us. We had a home. Everybody was aspiring from day one that we should have our own apartment, our own home, bungalow, whatever we're talking about. Now we think that, okay, if I have a flat, it should be decorated. I won't move in before it is decorated. If you ask your father or your grandparents, he said, नहीं भैया पहले खोली ले ली, घर में गए, फिर धीरे धीरे एक एक रूम हमने डेकोरेट किया या नहीं भी किया. So things have changed. Am I right? Two-wheeler or a one car? Two two-wheelers, right? Investment in India. Because now that what number we saw, now it has become an international investment. People have started looking into it. So as a financial advisors, your clients are ready to make an investment abroad, but we are not ready to serve them or advise them, or at least tell them that where you can go and get an advice. You don't have to be expert all the time, but at least as an advisor, I know that I'm not a tax expert. Somebody comes to me that, do you know anything about the US taxation law? I said, no, but I know somebody where you can go and talk to them. Has it changed? So it's backed by this number. My conclusion is backed by this number. See, if you ask your seniors or somebody, or your relatives who are all in America or Canada, Australia, New Zealand, oh yeah, I finished my bachelor's and then I came here to do the master's and I got settled. That's the standard story, right? Now your HNIs are thinking that, no, I don't want to wait here. As soon as my child has done 12, he's going to go abroad and study abroad. Second home in India. Right? Does it make sense? Do you hear these things from your clients? I want to know from you guys that this is what they're expecting, right? This is based on the clients whom I meet here in Ahmedabad, in Bombay, Delhi, wherever I go and meet. This is based on my personal experience with this one. It's for the first time I'm like meeting a large group of financial advisors in front of me. Just want to hear from you that what do you hear these things from your clients? It's become an international destination. See, we were talking up till now only business. Even when it comes to the business, it was always inbound. But now, it's global. I'm not Tata, I'm not Ambani, I'm not Birla, I'm not one of the giant ones. But I'm a small businessman. So if the Tata can get a Land Rover deal in a UK, or Ambani can make an investment into this, in my perspective, I want to do business somewhere globally. So let's put a hold on this one. This is what is changing. But that pattern has changed, but certain thinking hasn't changed of the HNIs and of the people in general. So you know that even before the independence of 1947 and over the period of time, as an Indian, as a migrant communities, large nations, we have gone out of India for a variety of purpose. And generally in those days, it was for the purpose of better living, better earning. And you know, like one thing which goes on for such a long period of time, it becomes kind of an unwritten law or a rules or a belief that this is how things happens. So this is what has happened, that in migrations, like if you go to the West Indies or Philippines or Fijis, 100 years back, people has gone from in India, started working in a sugarcane farms, and they've settled there now. In 60s and 70s, now you hear about that probably your some relatives or those, they've gone to USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, they've settled there. Large migrations happened in Gulf. When they open up that we would like to have people, when they started talking about the UAE in 1960s and early 70s, and that's where we see the large number of people going from all over India and neighboring countries, and that one. And that's where the government of India has to brought in the Migration Act, because you know that in those days there was a lot of stories about people going and they don't have a jobs, and that still continues, that one. So this Migration Act was introduced. Then came in around 93 when we started our practice as a lawyer in India, in Ahmedabad, about the immigrations that started in India. And 2008 onwards, the migrations to these countries, particularly the Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, become a difficult. So the agents and consultants who are in this business, they gone into more into the student visas, rise into the students visa consultants. So now if you take a one building from here to the Borivallis or end of the Bombay, in every building you'll find 2-3 consultants. Am I right? So over the period of time, this has become the standard. Study abroad is the only way to go and do it. So now think what your HNI is thinking, that let my son finish 12th, I can afford a fees, and he will go abroad after 12th. But if he's an HNI, probably we have a better advice for him. If we do it, inform him well in advance that what we can do it and what we cannot do it. And that's where we come into the pictures, that there are several ways and several things you can look at it. Don't look at the immigrations that you are running away from India. We're not talking about those 4 guys who are hiding somewhere out of India. Right? We are not talking about that one. What we are talking about is legitimate way of doing it, that a lot of millionaires and billionaires around the world are using this tool to do it. Why not us? When the government has changed the law, when changed the regulations. Now with that myth, a lot of you heard about EB5, right? Yes. EB5 is basically investment based category number 5, whereby you make an investment into an America and create 10 jobs, you could be entitled for an American green card. As simple as that. Now with that understanding, in India, you see the sudden rise. What happened? See, this is all happening in and around us. Suddenly, so many people were applying, Indian citizens, and there is a sudden rise in the last 2 years. Because they were all caught into the earlier slide. 5 years, 7 years back, they send their children abroad to study abroad. Particularly famous destination is USA. Send it to America, but then they realize that converting their student visa to H1 visa, H1 visa to green card is going to take anything between 15 to 150 years. How much? Because there are 5 categories where you can get a green card based on your education or an investment. EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4 and EB5. In every category there is a fixed quota. Now EB1, 2 and 3, people who has gone from here and doing a master's there, they got a sponsorship from a company, or they are person with an extraordinary abilities, or they've done some research. So either of these three categories, they will apply and they will get a green card. But remember, the brilliant and genius people are not only in India, but they are all over the world, right? So they are not only going from India. No doubt in IT industries we dominate, but people are coming from all over the world to United States. So in these 5 categories, there is a certain quotas are there. 9,000, 8,000 visa. So before 10 years back, that line was not that much. So within 3, 4 years, 5 years, I used to get my green card. Life is done. But now that line is already becoming longer. So when the wealthy people, HNIs of India, came to know that my son is studying, he's finished his master's, or my daughter has finished the master's, they are living there since last 6 years or 7 years, they cannot get a green card, what do? I talked to a few people, lawyers, and they said that EB5 is the category that if I give 3.5 crores or $500,000 to my son, he will make an investment into this particular project, and within 6 months he will get a green card. So change the line. So instead of EB1-2, which is going to take 15 years or 150 years or 40 years, now I am into EB5, different line. So my green card has become faster. And that's why you see here. Why it has become a buzz in India about EB5 suddenly? That law is there in United States since last 22 years. It's changed only in India recently because biggest taker of this investment visa is always China. Of the world total quota, 80 to 85% of the residency and citizenship investment visa is taken by Chinese. So all the developers from United States were going to China. When their got market saturated, and then where the line for Chinese become longer, they say we now look at the other countries. So suddenly in the last year and a half or 2 years, you've seen an advertisement, seminars and everything talking about EB5. And that's where the parents' attention of the high net worth parents' attention came, that okay, this is the solution for us. And people who has made mistakes, or made, rather I would say, miscalculations, 2 banks CEOs right here in Bombay, in Lower Parels, my clients, and they said, like, Prashant, we have no choice. My children says that we don't want to come back. Combined their income is about 4 crore, 5 crores per year, husband and wife. One is a CEO, wife is a CFO. But he says, I got to sell some of my shares and do this one for my children. So that's where you see the rise. So the standard practice is basically after 12th or 3 years of bachelor's degrees or 4 years of bachelor's degree, when you get your results, you want to send your children abroad. But if you plan something up in advance, things can change, or you can give a good advice to your clients. And the good advice to your clients would be that if you are done, get your immigration for your children beforehand. The biggest advantage is that it can reduce your fees by 80%. It's a huge number. So you're talking about spending money, making money. But if your one child gets the undergraduation degree in USA, Canada, wherever you talk, you're looking at anything between 100,000 in fees for 4 years. And remember, the consultant and agents who are across India are not representing universities. They are representing colleges. And their college's program is known as a post-graduation diploma in so-and-so. Telling the parents that your son is going to do a master's. It's the biggest mis-selling happening across India. And not stupid people, not the gullible people, not people from the street. Very intelligent, educated people are falling for that. Because they'll say, sir, if you send your son for a university master, is going to cost you $25,000 to $30,000 per year fees. Why don't you send him? It's a PGDBM. But in fact, that education is only a certificate course after 12th. The title is different. If I say the gentleman a father, doesn't become my father. So if I say to some education, post-graduation diploma in management or in IT, it doesn't become. And go and tell your friends, relatives, and everybody. Make sure that you are really getting into a university educations and not the college one, because it is cheap. It's something like that, the guy who is standing outside the Bombay Central Station, and he says, sir, we'll give you an AC room here. Can you compare with the St. Regis? That's what he's doing. The another example I'll give you, would you ever think, all of you are guys probably parents here, or going to be your parents here, sending your child for a higher study in India, forget about abroad, that he will do a 1 or 2 years of a diploma in college here and make his life? Would you think like that? So why you are sending your child to study in a college for a 1 or 2 years of diploma known as a post-graduation diploma in management or ITs or whatever, whatnot, and you think that he's going to settle there and make a career there? It's not going to happen. So in this respect, for the HNIs, we look at it that how it can be useful for them, investment by immigrations, and why. So when you look at the immigration, it comes into the 2 different categories. Non-immigrant visas, most of you heard about this. That's a non-immigrant visa. The fundamental principle of this rule is that you have to show it to the officer that I'm not going to be likely immigrants, and then only you will get a visa. Then you have got an immigrant visa. That means you're going to settle in that country. And that's, you heard about the family sponsorships and refugees. Then you have an economic migrations in these different countries. Then comes the professionals under that. Then under that comes the business migrations. And under the business migrations, you have a by investment based, which is a passive projects, bond, or investment you are making into real estate. Entrepreneur active in a business, in a new or purchase a business or do a joint venture or a startup. Right now, about 16 to 17 countries are offering the either a work permit or a residency if you have a startup ideas, and if you show it to the government, and if they get convinced by your ideas, you get a residency as well. So now, just give you an idea. What is this? Swiss knife. Hey, right there. So what's happening? Each tool is opening up. So it is a multi-tool. It's no more a knife. Knife, what we would have understood is just cutting, right? But actually it's a tool. Similarly, when you talk about the HNIs, he has the money and everything. Still, do you think that it would be relevant to him, this kind of a things? Right? Children's future? Wants to expand his business? Probably he's interested in NRI status. Quality of life. Does it matter? Now you always talk about the diversification of portfolio, right? So I'm talking about diversification of portfolio in global sense. Why you want to put all your money in India? Family reunion, tax planning, visa-free travel. Do you hate standing in the line and all the time whenever you're traveling abroad to go for visas and all those things? International real estates. So these are all the things what you can achieve by what? Residency and citizenship by investment. because you do not have the right, so you cannot go there. You're going there on a visitor visa, so you have a very limited access. But if you have planned in advance, and if you are an HNIs, and if you've done this, so many things you can achieve. You're not moving. I'm not talking about that go from here. It's just giving an options. And like as you have in your financial industry, several products are available from the several fund managers and stock markets and insurance, different asset class and this class. Same thing we are talking about here. So that's why we're talking about the immigrations by investment. That the pattern has changed, money has changed, people are looking into their investment abroad. Obviously, the primary focus right now is this, but if you look at the RBI numbers, they are going into all these directions. But we are not ready to serve them. Do we have an advice to give them? Last Thursday, I was here in Bombay at my office in BKC, and this gentleman came through LinkedIn, took my appointments. I didn't know that why he was coming. I thought that he's coming for a consultation, but he came and he started showing me his portfolio. That we are one of the largest research institute or a research company in financial industry in India, and most of you guys might be using their products or services or their analysis. A lot of big companies being used, so very, very well reputed company. And the senior manager came to meet me because I'm an NRI. They thought that I'd like to invest with them. So I said, okay, we'll do that one. But I said, would you have a 10 minutes of my time? Give me a time and listen to me. So he said, yes. So I asked him one question. I have 100 crore in India. Okay. I want to invest outside India. What advice do you have for me? He says, never thought of it. Never looked into it. So he took my book, my presentations and everything, and he says, I'm going to present this one to my board that this is what we have to look at it. Again, repeating, trying to hammer it to you guys. Early planning can save. See, there are various programs of the different countries are there in the world whereby you can make an investment. I have a few clients here right here in Bombay. When their children were ready to study abroad, so before that he approached us through a reference and he says, we would like to have a Canadian residencies, and he was contemplating between America and the USA. So I met him at his home, gave him an analysis, pros and cons of this one. He decided to go for Canada, and he was going to make an investment of, at that time it was about $800,000 in a government bond, or he had an option that the financial institute in Canada will make an $800,000 investment for him into a bond, and he would be required to pay only interest portion of it. So he took that route, and we got the immigrations for them. So the one son was ready to go for a master's, another son was ready to do the bachelor's. He paid in an interest 72 lakh rupees at that time. It was about $220,000, so it's a 72 lakh rupees he paid. He came to Canada, he met me, his children started studying, so as they were only permanent residents, obviously their fees were reduced by 80%. By the time they finished their study, they already were a citizen of Canada. So they can start immediately working, they don't have to look for a company or anything. Over the period of time, he was very, though he was not a chartered accountant or anything, but financially he was one of the sharpest businessmen I met in India, that he knew his numbers, and he told me his own analysis, which I could not do it, that I would have spent almost about 1 crore and 90 lakh rupees in getting the education of two of my children. In giving away this 72 lakh rupees to the government of Canada, I got the education and an immigration for my children. And now I'm back in India. So this is how it worked for him. International properties, we just mentioned about it. This is a very am I right? People are thinking in those 50s and 60s that we should have a house in Lonavala, Mahabaleshwar, Mathiran. Not anymore. They're thinking. I'm meeting these clients regularly. You are meeting those HNIs on a regular basis. and business expansions and his advantages. Now, this is also very important when it comes to an import-export business. I just, in the month of April, I did a seminar with the PO, Federation of the Indian Exporters Organization in Andheri. And I asked this group of people that as an exporters, what problem you are facing? So everybody gave an answers, but common analysis was that wherever we go, we find Chinese before us. I said, okay, but I said, did you try to find out that why Chinese is before you? He says, no. I said, there may be a variety of reasons, there might be a variety of factors, but based on the statistic and my practice, these Chinese are getting the residency and citizenship, and now they're establishing their business there. So give you an example. Say, for example, you are a textile exporters from India. Same product is being exported by a Chinese guy. Now that Chinese guy decided that, okay, I want to spend €500,000 into Portugal, buy my villa, get my Portuguese residency. So I have access to 28 European countries to ship my goods. So he can ship the goods in 2 days. The guy sitting in Bombay takes 2 months. So from where are you going to buy the goods? And this is where we are having a problem. The challenges which I have it is that most of the professionals like you, this is for the first time I'm addressing a group of financial people who are into the financial industry right here in Mumbai, that such a large group is listening to me, idiot like me. Because they were all said, we don't have to. We are content with our Dalal streets and in and around, But they are not taking an interest. But I think it's a time that we have to take an interest. Without that, it might be relevant for you, not only for your HNIs. Like last month, one financial advisor came to meet me that he would like to do a tie-up with us and how can we do it. When I give him this, my 10-15 minutes of speech, he says, forget about this one, talk about my son and myself. And when I looked at his data and information, and I said, sir, you are running 7 years late. Why? Because I said, if you would have come to me at a certain point in time, we could have done something for you. This particular product was good, but now it's not there. So basically now, obviously he wants his children to study somewhere abroad. Even as a financial advisor, he himself is an HNI, but he's running late. When it comes, now he realized that he wants to take an advantage of this one, but he cannot. He's having a difficulties because certain programs requires different rules and regulations. Do you think that any of your HNI will go to this consultant and talk to him about his portfolio? So it's us, the guys who are sitting here, has to get equipped, get this knowledge and give them advice. They're going to listen to you guys only professionally because you are regulated by SEBI, by other organizations, something. There's a trust. Chartered accountants, lawyers, financial advisors, in any category is what we have it. Some of them still believe when you talk about the migrations and when you are sitting with your HNI clients, three generations are sitting, the dada will say or grandfather will say, हमें कहाँ जाने की जरूरत है, इतने सारे पैसे तो है. So I asked that dada, didn't you move from somewhere in Gujarat or somewhere in Kutch to Mumbai? Wasn't it a migration? You moved from the interior part of the Maharashtra and came to Bombay. You were in UP and you came to Bombay or Delhi. So you migrated within the country. So do not say that why we should migrate. Then go back to your village. They need you. Now with all your money, they need you back in a village. Do some charity there. See, most of the parents are now thinking that student visa is the only way to do it. It's not. Professionally, you can go. It's not necessary that you have to just break your bank or sell all your stocks to study your children abroad. These are different ways are there, and that has to be taken in a professional way. Lack of knowledge and trust. No professionals with real experience and knowledge. I would say that, I mean, not to exaggerate, but as I have an experience in this industry for 27 years, being a Canadian citizen, I was moving around, attending lots and lots of conferences. I've gained this knowledge where I can give it. But it's hard to find a people here right now in India that who can talk about and take a data and give a proper analysis or an advice to the clients that this could be good for you or this could be not good for you, not selling like a one product. And also this has become very standard that कि US rules में जो भी होता है वही सब जगह हो चलता होगा. No, the rules are different from place to place. So just very quickly, I'm finishing off. Very quickly, residencies to the citizenship. So you know, when you go on a visitor visa, then you are converted to work permit. Work permit converts into residencies or a green card or permanent immigrations, and then it converts into citizenship. So it's 4. So there are these popular countries who offers first residency, and then you get your citizenship. Then you have a direct citizenship of certain countries, which are all the Caribbean countries. Within 3 months, you can get your passports. Not necessarily, most of the people, when I talk to them, particularly financial advisors and chartered accountants, what is the ticket size? You know, there's a very, very tagline in your communities. There's no ticket size we are talking about here. We have to look at the client's profiles, what is the age of the children, what they want to do it, what they would like to achieve. Residency in Europe, that has become quite popular. And you're looking at Portugal, Spain, Malta, Cyprus, Greece, Bulgaria. Citizenship in Europe also is possible, where Cyprus, Malta, Bulgaria is also there. So where millionaires are moving? And these are not titles coming from these different top publications in the world. So they are not necessarily moving for the purpose of immigrating, leaving their home country and making a money somewhere. They are already HNIs, guys, right? So they have money, but they are moving. When we do the survey, when I look at the surveys of the different countries and HNIs in different countries, one of that reason, 10 reasons which I mentioned just after the Swiss knife, that one of them will pop up. It has to be one of these ones. They're not moving away for the tax evasion. They're not moving away for the making more money. They already made that more money in there. They are in safe territories. They are very wealthy. But every client who comes to me and says, sir, we are very well to do, but we are doing it for our children. 9 out of 10 is always that. And the last slide. This is basically a statistic shows where the people are moving from one part of the other. So you'll be surprised that there is a large number of people moving from France because of the political situations and things. What tension, civil tension is happening in that country. So even last 2 weeks back, I was in my Rotary conference in Germany. On the very first day, I had my booth there. I was surprised to receive a large number of Germans were asking me where we can go, because they feel kind of the kind of a countries they would like to live into it. It's not there, so they were looking for an option, thinking they may not move, but this is what they were thinking. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time.
We spoke about the EB5. Okay.
Yes.
So how do we do it? How is the question? So we got the knowledge today.
Right.
So how do we proceed if somebody has to opt for it?
If you want to offer one of these ones, we like to, if they have already, like said, you have a client or you for yourself, then basically I would give them an advice that you find a lawyer. A lawyer will help you to go through the process. That's number one. And second thing is that there are government approved projects are there. Most of them are into the real estates. And this lawyer will help you to that you go through this particular projects, which has a good track records, they are long terms and everything. Your money would be safe, there could be good returns. And because of this, there's a lot of regulatory compliance requirement from SEC and USCIS in USA, you will get your green card and everything. Again, like any other market, there are a lot of products available in market. You have to be very careful because people are going to offer you. So that's what we do as an advisors. Like if you are interested or if your client is interested, we look at the profile and we see and give them an advice and general things that yes, how we can take the process. When we feel that yes, it's going to be beneficial to them and this is the right product for them, then we take you through the whole process of step by step, making an investment. And the most important part in India is source of fund, from where you are bringing the money. And that's how we advise you. So you put up your petitions. It takes about 1.5 to 2 years now. Once your petition is approved, then just like any other green card petitions, you go to Bombay consulate and you get your green card. If your children are already in America, then it becomes an adjustment of status. So your child or a son or daughter might have got a green card based on EB1 or 2 or 3. But now as you made an investment, he will get it under the EB5. So he can go into the 2 line at the same time. But once he gets his green card approved and visa quota allocated to him under the EB5, he can immediately apply for an adjustment of status and he gets his green card and he can stay there.
Thank you.
So can you share 1 or 2 case studies as in how to plan for child's education? So,
child education. One of the slides, thank you for your questions. Very good questions. See, the earlier you look at your children, probably when they are in a grade 9 or 10, and looking into their situations, if they plan something in advance, then it will work much better rather than doing it at the age of just after passing a 12th or bachelor's or a master's. So earlier you do it, probably they will have more options to do it. In some cases, the parents want to leave themselves. In some cases, they do not want to leave. So we can provide them a different product or something where we can say that, okay, now I want my child to go only in America. Now, if he comes at the age of bachelor's, then you do not have a green card. He is now studying in America. So he has to pay the full tuition fees. But if he has come to us at grade 9, by the time he is 12, he got his green card. His child is there. And then he takes the advantage of the reduced fees. Another product which I talked to you about in Canada, the investment program, Quebec Immigration Investment Program, the processing time, that program is running since last 32 years. Nobody has lost the money because government gives a guarantee. But the waiting period in that one is 5 years. So if you come to us when your child is 18 or 19 or 20, that product is ideal for you if you would have come to us 5 years back. Small and medium-sized businessmen, there is a wonderful opportunities in Canada whereby, say for example, you are running a restaurant here. You don't have to be a millionaires and billionaires. The Canada has opened up doors for the small and medium-sized businessmen. You need a 3 or 4 crore rupees in assets, 2-3 years of an experience of running and managing a business. Come to Canada on a visitor visa, explore the Canada, and find out a business in which you want to invest or you want to start. Show us your business plan. If we like your business plan, we will give you a permit, business permit to run your business. You run your business for 2 years and we will give you an immigration. Yesterday, one lady came. She's head manager at the ICICI Prudential. She's after me since last 5 years. And I keep telling her, no, that you do not qualify, you do not qualify. And she's getting a positive reply from every consultant she's approaching other than me. And then I said to her that last night that, okay, new rules has come. If you want to come to Canada and if you are ready to do a business, now there is a product for you, which is Canada Immigration's owners operated business. So for example, if you are 35 years age and plus, bachelor's or master's degree, you're not going to qualify under the regular express entry. You might have heard about it. Have you heard about it? Express entry is the skilled worker category. But now probably you are already a senior managers or a business owners or working as a supervisors. So you come to Canada, you put about 75 lakhs to 1 CR in a business. You become an owner of the business and run that business for 2 years and get your immigration. See, there are people who will give you another example. See, the European countries and the Caribbean countries, people are not looking at it because if you look at those English-speaking countries, it requires the residency to go there and then you get your citizenship. But European countries gives you that flexibility. So there might be a people who will say that like we would like to spend a certain amount of time in Europe, but we do not want to go there permanently. When we go on a visitor visa, we cannot stay there, so we'd like to. So the European countries offers that one, that you do not have to stay there, but you have a residency of that country. So you buy your, make an investment into real estate and you get it. The residency of the Portugal, Spain, Greece, Malta, Cyprus. If you make a higher investment, then you get a citizenship. Then one of the good example in the city is, who is that person who's got a citizenship? No, not Choksi. Not Choksi. No. These are all, you're talking about the illegal way of doing it. I'm talking about the legal way. Younger brother of Hiranandani. He invested $2 million euro into a Cyprus real estate. Based on that one, at that time, not last year, but year before, was the United Kingdom. UK was the part of the European Union. So he wanted to move to England. You use that route to invest the money into Cyprus, obtain the Cyprus citizenship, and based on that one, he moved. Why? Because his daughter says that I'm not going to stay in Bombay, I want to stay in England. So this is what she has done. Exact example you asked me.
So any other question? We can take one last question.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the presentation.
Welcome, sir.
Advisor, we not very much acquainted with this.
Right.
So in future, like today, have the presentation. How to get update about the conference or the website, or how we really are updated? A lot of changes also happen. In
Changes. Either you basically, obviously, I spent 27 years and you try to spend 27 years on doing that. But generally, few conferences are happening in month of September. 21st of September, there's a conference and I'm an anchor and a presenter for that conference. That's in Bangalore. The other one is happening in Delhi. That is 27 and 28th of September again. That's in Delhi. And in January, in month of January and February, we do two other conferences. They both are at St. Regis. One is at the, must be second week of just after 14th January, that IELP show. We talk about all these subjects and same thing. And then other one, we do it in February. That's the group coming from. So all these four conferences, I'm there, basically, you can say, advisor to them, to putting this conference together, putting up the agenda together. So if you are interested, I can share it with your group and then probably it can come to all you guys. Thanks. Well, if you put it together, I'll be more than happy to do it. So then we can go by country. Is there the other things you want to announce about the book? No. Sure. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Prashant sir. I would like to call upon Viral Bhatt to present a small memento to Prashant sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys, giving me an opportunity. It was awesome to share with you, like-minded people, but in a different industry. Thank you.
You have already shared the feedback link. Feedback के बिना तो जाने नहीं देंगे ना. So please share your feedback. आज का sessions कैसे लगे हैं सारे? So ऐसे ही sessions अगर future में भी चाहिए तो feedback दे दीजिए.
Say it was Rahul, I think, Rahul. He was the one, I think he's connected with me on LinkedIn and he invited me here because I think he was looking into different subjects and he invited me about a month and a half back. But I think unfortunately he's not here. He's not well. But anyway, first thank you to Rahul and then to all your team once again inviting me and listening to me. Thank you very much, guys.